the continuing adventures of Mr. Cupman. Mr. Cupman went to school, and when he got to school, the teacher was upset. Mr. Cupman asked the teacher why she was upset. The teacher said, "Look at this flower, Mr. Cupman." And Mr. Cupman looked at the flower and saw that it had drooped and died. The teacher said, "Mr. Cupman, you were supposed to take care of this flower. The ground is dry, the flower is drooped and dead. You didn't water it, you didn't take care of it, it's dead now." And this made Mr. Cupman very sad. In fact, Mr. Cupman was still sad when he went home. When he got home, his dad met him. Mr. Cupman's dad noticed that Mr. Cupman was sad. Mr. Cupman's dad said, "Mr. Cupman, why are you sad?" And Mr. Cupman said, "Because I let a flower die at school. The teacher told me to take care of the flower and I didn't do it and the flower's dead." And Mr. Cupman's dad smiled and said, "I'm glad you feel bad about that, Mr. Cupman, but I want you to know that God does forgive you." And Mr. Cupman said, "But what about the other stuff I haven't done for the teacher? You told me that God says that I'm supposed to respect my teacher. I let the flower die, and last week I didn't give her that paper that I was supposed to give her." And Mr. Cupman's dad says, "Mr. Cupman, I'm glad you feel bad about all that stuff. You should feel bad. But I want you to know that God forgives you for all of that stuff too. He forgives you all the time. That's why we go to church all the time, to hear that God forgives us all the time." Well, Mr. Cupman still felt bad about the dead flower, but at least he felt a little better. Let's pray. Dear God, in Jesus you have forgiven us. Help us to remember that. In Jesus' name, amen.